Good evening and welcome to Contest of Speed AM2 Action. aka Amp and Perry the dog. How's it going tonight, guys?
Hi, going well, Bursey. How are you?
I'm doing excellent. Thanks for asking. So we've got China this week. Big week coming off of a wild week one. What are kind of your guys' kind of reactions from last week and kind of thoughts moving into this second race?
Well, after a thrilling race last week, I would say I'm going to be looking forward to watching SRS this week. He was strong last week. Actually got the race Tier 1 last week, too. And he was also strong in there. So him, Bodhod, normal front runners for me.
Yeah, I think after the fact we had a lot of penalties decide the race, a lot of issues with the drivers picking up penalties that eventually got changed after the fact. So we'll see how everything turns out, as Arkaka and his McLaren is going to be the first one out onto the circuit.
It's good to see driver numbers on the cars now.
Yes, it is nice to see the personalized numbers. I know everybody's been waiting for their time to get their numbers on their cars, and it just adds that nice little personal touch to each driver as they roll around the track in their preferred number.
Perry, you got anything for us?
Nothing much. I'm seeing a lot of soft tires heading out of the pits. A couple mediums. Looking down the list of Gergrexing and iFunner on outlaps on mediums, but interestingly enough, doing a few practices, and I'm not sure where the AM2 guys have been running, but they've I've heard of the potential of doing a soft to hard strategy. The softs don't last very long at all, but the hards, I guess, are pretty durable and could potentially last almost well over 20, 23, 24 laps. So I guess we'll see what drivers decide to do, as Arkaka and ARAM are the first two to cross the line and get started.
Yeah, so I'm on board with Arkaka right now, and kind of see as he has getting on the power here coming out of turn 3. Right on board with him here.
Oh yeah, so pretty sizable lock up there on the right front into that hairpin into turn 6. Of course, that's where Danny Ricciardo for Red Bull made a number of nice passes into the hairpin, and then onto sector 2 with Arkaka. A very technical section. I think this is where a lot of time can be lost and gained, as he goes pretty wide, and I believe that's turn 8, the entrance of turn 8. And of course, China, a purpose-built Tilke track. You've got a lot of long straights and long, never-ending corners as Arkaka successfully maneuvers his way onto the backstretch and into sector 3.
With SRS right now as he rounds the final few corners here, coming into turn 16. We'll see what. Oh, as he bails on his lap and he's into the pits. So we'll head back on board with Arkaka, see what he sets for a time as he comes around. Unless that was an invalidated lap, that previous lap. Oh, it was live, 135.6.
And that's, you'll see drivers, I think, if they want to qualify on medium, can go out on soft early and then slow down and be able to set a quicker time on medium tires.
Yeah, totally. As we just had Guru set a 134.8 on the mediums, and then Rum Fresh set a 31.6 on the softs.
Yeah, I think Arkaka slowed down before we got to the line there.
Yeah. Who's coming around?
Kenton Petter with a 31.1 on the softs.
So that was RJP, it looks like, coming across the line, setting a 32.7. So Yeah, good job with Kit and Petter so far at the fastest time of a 31-1.
I know Kitten Petter was on board for a podium last week until penalties, but I know he'll be looking for redemption more than likely for this week.
Porter's in the pits.
As everybody on track has completed their first lap. We've got Google Dougal on an out lap run now, so he will be the next one to set a time.
So I wonder, so Bodhad's done a lap. Where is he? So Bodhad, he's going for it here on his run. He's on the back DRS straight, coming into turn 14.
I think he's invalidated. I don't know. On my screen he is,
Okay.
but he might just be running those tires. You know, it's not a bad strategy really. You've got extra sets of softs to run. You might as well go out, do a few practice runs, lay some rubber for later on.
Totally. Yeah, and you're right, Perry. That one was another invalidated run.
Newcomer to AM2. I do not know how to say his name. HS Maria? I don't know how to say that, to be honest, but he just started a lap, so be interested to see what he can do.
Sure, we'll hop on board with him.
I feel like I embarrassed myself not knowing how to say his name. I'm
I
sorry.
think that was great. I think that was a pretty good first attempt at it.
There's a lot of vowels right at the end.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's about as good of an effort. HS Moira, I think I would go with.
Maria. I'm just going to say Maria.
Maria.
We'll have to get the pronunciation from him for next week, but so far it's a solid lap. It looks like he's putting down. He's in sector 3 now, coming into turn 14.
Out of turn 14 and up to turn 15. Hopefully he doesn't run wide. Very tricky spot on the track not to run wide at. And he does it good.
Oh, I think that was a very solid lap, a 31.7. So it was a solid first lap for the newcomer in the Alfa Romeo, I should specify. Alright, who is coming across the line? That looks like a gray car of Bomb Tree, who sets a 34.3. Well, majority of the cars are currently in the pits. Looks like they're coming out for their next stint. Up on board there. I think that's Google Dougal. Yeah, Google Dougal is on a lap here on the medium. So see what he can put down as he also is entering into turn 14.
I'm going to try to utilize this telemetry as far as I can, as much as I can tonight.
Alright, so Google Dougal on the medium sits at 33.5. I honestly haven't done a ton of practice on the medium, so I'm not sure where that lap stands in terms of a fast lap on mediums, but I'd have to say that's a decently quick lap on the mediums. Perry, what would you say?
Oh, I think, yeah, that's probably right about where you want to be. And another thing that we might see from the medium guys is running multiple laps on the mediums. I mean, they won't carry you farther in the race, but I don't think you have to take them very far to be able to jump on the hard tires as well. So I guess we'll wait and see. I think one of the downsides of China, and I don't know if it's just with this game or the feeling of being in the middle of the field, it felt really scrunched and led to, I think, quite a few accidents into turn 1 and turn 2 through the middle of the pack. So maybe these guys on soft times at the front might be better off in the long run staying out of trouble.
Yeah, I think we'll with the race. I don't know if we've mentioned it yet, but the race is a dry race. So it'll be all suns out, guns out for this race. So we'll look to see these guys get the most out of their softer medium compounds and then hop on those hards and take them to the end. And hopefully we've got some clean racing here. As Gru's on a lap. I'm gonna hop back over to Google Dougal as he's coming to the pits now after his time that he set. He was moving pretty good. I wasn't sure if he was attempting a second hot lap right off the get-go, but I'm on board with Gru right now. Gru Rex King. And Gru, contest of speed veteran here, looking to get a nice tow from his teammate Bodhod.
Yes, somebody working the slipstream.
always nice to see this slipstream
nailed
work effectively.
nailed that strategy.
Yeah.
The Mercedes in mostly black looks very nice as well. No, it's
does
been
look
in the game
beautiful.
for a little while now, but yeah.
Alright, Gru set the 32.9, so that tow definitely improved his time from the 34 that he 34.1 or whatever he was at earlier, so it's good for him to improve his time up to P8. Alright, who's coming across? Kitten on another lap here.
Yeah. He just invalidated coming out
Okay.
of the last one.
And the next one is I think P-Dug's coming up here. P-Dug's about to start a hot lap on the softs.
Like last week's winner, a little bit after the fact, but good to see a few of the EU drivers staying up in chat. The dedicated COS fandom.
That's what I love
Bam
about it.
Bam, man. Sorry, Verzi.
No, it's all good. You go ahead. Go ahead, DK.
I was just gonna say, Bam Bam managed to put in a 30.6.
Wow. No, that's a nice lap. Awesome job from Bam Bam. Bam Bam seems to be one of the quicker drivers on the grid this season, so I look to see him near the top of the order by the end of this race. He had a strong showing last week. Originally finishing P2, and then after penalties got sorted out, finished off at P3. So we'll see what he can do here this week in China as he around turn 14 and turn 15, coming up to turn 16.
Yeah,
looking at the telemetry, it's interesting to see that Bam Bam has the fastest Sector 1 and Sector 3 times, so mostly straightaways, and then Kenton Petter's got the fastest Sector 2 times, so between those two, setup differences could be more straightaway or more downforce.
So iFunner appears to be on a lap here, but it looks like he's bailing as well. So I don't know. He might have just set one.
I think Guard JP right now is in the Red Bull, sitting in 8th, but I think right now, compared to his pace, looks to improve. Getting a little bit of a tow from the Haas ahead.
Yeah, so I'm currently on board with that Haas of X-Bomb as he starts his hot lap, and we'll see. RJP was able to improve his time. Don't know if he was there, but
Yeah, he jumped up just at a Bodhod to
okay.
put himself with the rest of the soft compound drivers.
So it's interesting that a lot of these drivers are opting for the soft tire, so those hards must really just make it to the end, no problem. Hey, Perry?
Yeah, I think with that many drivers down, I'm going to be interested to see how it plays out because I haven't really seen it too much, and I know past games it really wasn't an option, so I guess we'll see. I mean, you think maybe if you're someone like Bodhod or Kano can put together a good long medium stint, could potentially put yourself in contention. But yeah, I guess it's kind of a wait and see. I think at this point is, oh, bomb tree. If you're on board with bomb tree, he's gonna spin and lose it.
Oh
Headed
shoot.
to the backstretch.
Fortunately, just missed that. Hop on board.
I kept it off the walls, but got a little bit too much
Yeah.
curbing on the inside of turn.
Pop on
I
over
think
to him.
13.
I mean, hopefully he's got no damage there, but it looks the front wing looks to be okay. So hopefully he's probably head on in and replace those tires if he can. If not, he'll try to set a lap here as he does have the ERS to do it. So we'll see what he chooses to do. Yeah, as he does jump onto that front straight exiting turn 16.
Andrew, late joiner, getting ready to start a lap, so he'll only get one attempt since he just joined the session.
Yeah, we'll hop on board with Andrew here and follow Andrew. Andrew's in his second season with Contest of Speed. He was a strong performer last season, and can't say I remember too well where he finished, but I think it was a little bit of a tougher week for him last week. So hopefully he looks to improve upon his showing last week. He is a quick driver, one of the quicker drivers in this tier. So we'll see if he's been able to get the practice in to have a strong result here this week.
He did run purple sector 1.
Okay. And that's impressive for a guy on the medium tires too. So looks like he's getting a little bit of a tow from the Williams ahead of him. Looks to be Cream Media. So Cream Media is also on a hot lap, so you can kind of follow the two of these guys around the track as they enter turn 13. The good old Parabolica. And onto that back DRS straight. I think turn 14 is going to be a fun corner to watch. Lots of overtaking opportunities there with it being such a long DRS straight. So we'll see how well the guys can maneuver their cars and put them in a position to jump up a spot or two. As Cream crosses the line. Not improving his time, but Andrew jumps up on the mediums with a 32.2, so that's a very impressive lap for Andrew right as time expires. And we've got Bodhod, who is P10, and we've got, it looks like Gru is the next one who'll be crossing the line. Looking to improve upon his time, and currently in P11.
Yeah, Kano jumps to P2. Yeah, that's gonna put 2 racing points.
That's a great lap for
Right up
Kano.
front. Yeah.
And Gru jumps his teammate up to 32.3. So next, it looks like we've got Arkaka is coming around on the mediums, looking to set a fast lap here, looking to improve on his 35.6, and he does 32.6, and Google Dougal improves to 32.5, and P-Dog unable to improve, so it looks like P-Dog wasn't able to set a lap in this qualifying session.
Segrist jumps to 4th, right behind P-Dog.
Great lap for him. And Portage Power finally sets a time at 32.4 right as time is expiring. Oops.
Maria comes across.
And Maria
Goes to P6.
jumps his teammate. We'll see. So we got a Haas. Is that Kitten Petter looking to improve upon his time?
I think that's about it.
Yeah, I
Everybody's
think
probably
everybody
been
else-
across. Yeah.
Yeah, looks like it. Yeah, because now we're getting to the same group.
And yep, that'll do it.
Wow. So we have 3
So-
drivers not able to set a lap. So interesting. And 2 of those drivers are fairly quick. looking at their time trial times and watching the race last week. So it'll be interesting to see how well SRS, P-Dog, and Young DJ can hop up the order, starting from the back.
Yeah, and it's Seacrest and P4 with the medium. He's kind of outside of him and Andrew, the only two that's going to be starting on mediums in the top 10. The rest that try to do the medium tire will have the options, so they'll be on fresh tires.
Yeah.
I gotta say, good qualifying for Kittenpetter. He didn't have a good qualifying last week. Had to start in the back. For him to qualify P3 for this one, good for him.
Looks like we just waiting for time to expire here. So it's a Racing Point lockout of the front row, heading into the Chinese Grand Prix, Season 6 Contest of Speed. Impressive showing from the Racing Point cars. Who are you guys' predictions for the way too early podium?
Well, I'll say Bam Bam's looking strong, obviously. Kano, good lap from him. I gotta go with Bam Bam showed speed in both last week and in the practice race, so I gotta go for him to win the race, to be honest.
Okay. Solid choice. Perry?
I kind of like Seagrist. I think, the strategy could provide him with a good result, as well as, Andrew, I think, as well, could be there at the end. And, I don't know, I think Bam Bam as well. I think if he can get a good getaway and make some time up with those softs, could provide to give him a good chance at the race.
Yeah, totally. I also am gonna go with Seagrist. I think being on that medium to hard strat, I think that's gonna play well into his hands. Any of the medium runners really will have, I think, an advantage here as we roll into this race. But anything can happen if we have some early safety cars that might throw things for a loop, or maybe a late safety car might throw things for a loop. So it'll be hard to say, but I think Seagrass is in a good position to have a successful run at this race.
I know you mentioned it earlier, but I think the chat asked it is going to be a sunny, dry race from Shanghai, so...
Yes. Yeah, I'm also looking in the chat here, just responding to Rogue X-Wing. SRS seems like he just wasn't able to put together a valid lap, kept invalidating, so it was a tough qualifying session for him, but he's a very quick driver, so I imagine he'll be able to make up a few spots in this race.
So looking down the order, obviously Seagrass and Andrew are in mediums. The rest of the top 10 are in softs, and then 11th, 12th on down, everybody's on mediums except Bodhad, who decides to go on the hards, and SRS ARAM, who also is on the hards. So
interesting.
They'll be able to go the longest, but they'll also struggle for speed and grip in the early goings.
Interesting selection to go with the hard tire off the bat, but I mean the reverse strategy does have its benefits, so I mean can't knock it until we see how it goes in the race.
Yeah, I think especially if we get an early safety car, it doesn't give a chance for especially the soft runners to extend their lead. That even though it will give them a free pit stop, I think near the end of the race, those fresh medium tires for those hard runners will be paying dividends.
Definitely.
Safety cars played a big role in last week's race, so I would look for him to play a role in this race too.
Oh, a little bit closer to the order here. Yeah, hopefully we have no safety cars. When I throw it in the chat, see how many safety cars we have in this race at all. Oh, so we got. Oh, maybe that's a little bit of a glitch on my end there, because it looked like Seagrass had lost it and gone into the wall coming into turn 14, but a little bit of a glitch. So he just drove off the track. As the grid has begun to form up, pulling in to their grid positions, and we're just about ready to go racing.
Yeah, it's quite a short run, especially here into turn one. Not a lot of room to make up opportunities outside of getting a good launch. So if you fail to get a decent launch, then it could be some trouble.
Totally. All right, we've got all the drivers on the grid. Here we go. 5 lights. The lights are out. And we've got a little bit of a glitch. Oh, we've got a jump start.
Oh, we got two
Oh,
jump starts,
2
AMRAM
jump
and
starts.
P-Dog.
Oh, shoot. Interesting. All right, so Bam Bam with a great start heading into turn 1.
Well, we're fairly clean looking through the back. RJP a little bit wide into turn 2. And so far, we're all facing the right direction. No
Yeah.
broken wings in the back.
No, so far it's clean. Hopping on board with HS Maria, who's jumped up a couple spots, it looks like, to P4. And Bam Bam's already pulled out quite a big lead, guys. He had a really good, solid start. He's already 1.4 up, so if he can keep that momentum rolling, he'll be able to pull away out of that DRS range. As we have the predicted strategy pop up on the screen now, so the softs look to pit around lap 6 or 7, so that'll be interesting to see as we get around that time period where we are. Is we've got a couple overtakes in turn 13 as the rest of the crew is coming around.
Yeah, this is a pretty great start. I think overall for the field is a little bit of jostling. Kitten gets up and around Kano for second. So far, a pretty good start, especially I think for Seegers to stay up in the top 5.
Yeah, totally. Guys, I'm noticing RJP has dropped 10 positions down to P19, so I unfortunately missed that.
He's got some wing damage. He's got an end plate gone.
It looks like
And both Red Bulls in. P-Dog serving his penalty.
Okay, yeah, and RJP. So
well, that's gonna stink for RJP. Now he's gotta wait.
Oh, did P-Dog not get a penalty? Did I miss something?
P-Dog jumped, or unless P-Dog's also got wing change, but so RJP's getting the wing change, but we hop on board. Seagrass, he's looking to chase down HS Maria. And guys, Kitten Petter's gap is 2.2 to Bam Bam, so that battle with Kano seemed to allow Bam Bam to pull away a little bit.
The porch power. Oh, I was gonna say he's gonna be doing pretty well in 7th, but he just lost the back end on the long right-hander, and not sure if he got any wing damage. As he almost gets a run over.
Looks like he's mowing some lawn currently right now as he's getting back on the track.
That was almost like commentator's curse before it even happened.
I was gonna say, X-Bomb up 7 positions from the start after 2 laps.
Yeah, it's a great start for X-Bomb.
Big mover there.
He's working on the inside of iPhoner.
Kitten Petter has dropped the lead down a half a second. Or dropped the lead down half a second, I should say.
Yes, yeah, down to 2-second gap. Yeah, this battle with
Middle of the pack.
X-Bomb goes for a
Yeah,
move on
X-Bomb and
iPhoner.
iPhoner. Oh, and Bodhad trying to get himself in the battle as well.
Yeah, he's got his teammate on his heels though, so as I say that as I pull up and oh wow, Bodhad is able to wiggle his way in there and overtake iPhoner.
I think Bodhad was there and iPhoner didn't realize it and turned down a little bit, but luckily it did not seem to cause any damage.
I'm on board with Seagrass as him and HS Maria are about to duke it out in the DRS straight here. It looks like HS Maria is able
got
to
DRS as well.
Yeah, he's able to get a DRS and pull away, so. Oh, and Gru and Amram is overtaking Gru. So Amram already up 8 positions, so it's a great drive for the Renault
Amram's got
driver.
a server drive through, I believe.
He does, yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, there he goes.
There he goes. So he's serving his drive through. Oh, we've got Seagrass. Let's see if he can make a move here. His Rumfresh is on the heels of Gru, so I might have to pop over there quickly and see, but I think I might have to pop back. Just patiently biding his time. Seagrass looks to make a move.
Yeah, right now this looks like the field's kind of forming, spreading out. Really the top 5 have kind of broken away with everybody else. Cream and Andrew trying to hang on to that DRS train, but then there's a significant gap past Andrew.
Interesting to see Bamam's lead fluctuating like half a second in certain spots of the track.
Oh,
It shows
Seagrass almost is going for a move there. Looks like he's able to get by HS Maria. That was a little bit of a wild move there, but he's able to get it done. Oh, we have a yellow flag sector 3. As it looks, Dougal has spun. He's gingerly coming back onto the track, so. Gru and
HS Morea, early stop for the soft runner.
Interesting.
iPhoner as well, they had enough of the softs. Pretty early, I think it's almost a little bit too early.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's. But maybe they're trying to go for that undercut to see if the undercut will pay off, but.
Well, Maria will be in clean air. We'll have about 10 seconds until he runs into porch power, so he's got plenty of clean air right now to try to make up some time.
I'll go back to what I was saying before that move on for Seagrass. I was saying Bamam's lead drops a little bit through sector 2, but he's able to pull it around the straights. So.
Interesting. So he's running a less wing than Kitten is. Or something. Maybe he's just quicker in those sectors, but with those being the big straights, that's kind of what I would assume. So we'll see.
Seagrass is now. Andrew got by Cream, sorry. Seagrass eyeing Kano now, but I don't know if he's close enough to make the move done. Not on the back straight, but maybe towards turn 1.
Yeah, we'll see. I think
Kitten's in.
Kitten is in. I think Kano was starting to drop away from Kitten, so I wonder if he's starting to feel those softs wear out just a little bit. And as Seagrass feels these mediums come to life. Watch this battle ensue as Seagrass looks to have gotten the job done. And we've got Cream Media is in the pits now. On to mediums by the looks of it. So Rum Fresh, Kano, and Bam Bam are the remaining soft runners that have yet to pit. So it'll be interesting to see when they choose to do so.
The racing points wouldn't want to double stack either.
Yeah, get it out of the way and keep on going.
Yeah, look for Bam Bam to pit right here on this lap.
Yeah.
It's going to be close to Kitten Petter though. He's only 24 seconds back.
Yeah, Kitten's also on the mediums, so we know that he'll have to stop again.
So Bam Bam is able to extend those tires another lap. He's still out there. So interesting as Kano comes into the pits for his first stop.
We've got another yellow flag in sector 3, one of the Williams.
That's Cream Media on those mediums.
Yeah, it looks like the medium's just being a little fresh. Maybe not warmed right up yet.
I'll say Bodhod's kept his distance to the leader. I mean, it's at 12 seconds, so
As Drew is retired from the session.
Retired out in the pit lane.
Okay, interesting. Unfortunately, Drew able to retires from this race, so tough go for him. But hopefully next week he can put it all together. As Bomb Tree picks up a 3-second for multiple warnings. I'm on board with Kitten Petter right now, who is on the gearbox of Arcaka, so look to see him make a move in the second DRS straight as we're into turn 13.
Sam, I heard him a little bit, trying to stay with and or undercut Bam Bam. Bam Bam's in.
Gap to 22 seconds. So we'll see. It's going to be close when they come out, I believe.
As Kitten
Petter
gets the job done, and it looks like he gets the second.
Overtake. Yes.
Wow, great drive by Kitten to get that job
That was a
done.
move.
Oh, Arcaka's eyeing a move around the outside.
Kitten Petter. Bam Bam just got released from the pits. It's going to be close.
So Bam Bam has fitted the hard tires as expected, so comes out, looks like right in front of Arcaka. Oh, that was as young DJ goes wide.
Runs wide. He about just took out Bam Bam, missed him by about a few inches. With Bam Bam on the hard tire, though, I think he could be able to go to the end, and we know Kitten's going to have to stop once more, so...
Yeah, I wonder if Kitten's banking on a safety car, or if he feels like he can stretch those mediums. But I don't know if those mediums are gonna go away. But I guess we'll have to see.
One person who's really gotten caught behind, though, is Kano. Now stuck behind Porridge. There's also got young DJ and Arcaka.
On board with him now. With all these pit stops happening, the grid's kind of really started to space out. Interesting to see as we round out our pit stops. Watch the grid kind of form back up together a little bit more. SRS is bombing down on Google Doodle, so see if he can get the job done going into turn 14. But oh, and he lunges for it and runs a little deep. As Google Doogle's able to fight, and they're wheel to wheel going into turn 16.
Someone's gonna have to give.
Oh, yeah. SRS had to give there. And Kano's got HS Maria, the newcomer in the Alfa Romeo, hot on his heels here. Oh,
Oh,
is there a little bit of
a
contact?
little. I'll try to switch back, but not going to get a good enough exit. It's just Maria.
The Bam Bam is closing up on Kinter for the straight.
Just hopped on board with Bam Bam here. We'll see if he can get Kitten on that straight, but Kitten being on the softer tire, on those mediums, he should be able to keep this gap, but we'll see as we round turn 13 coming onto that DRS straight.
Oh,
Oh,
Kitten,
Kitten Petter goes
Kitten
wide.
runs wide. That just compromised everything for that straight.
That's alright. Kitten is a solid driver. He had a solid race last week at Spain. Crossing the line P2, but I think he finished P4, P5 when penalties were over. Let's see there. Yeah, he finished P5 in the race last week. So young DJ picks up a 3-second penalty for multiple warnings. DK, with you having the telemetry in front of you, I'd be curious to know some of the penalties that we have going on right now.
I'm still trying to figure it out, to be honest.
That's all right.
I'll give you an update. Let me get back to you.
Okay, sounds good. I'm on board with Google Lugo, who is trying to chase down SRS, but SRS's medium or hards have definitely worn in now, so he's really picking up the pace as he looks to cut through the field. On board with Kano on the gearbox of Porridge Power. As he picks up a 3-second penalty there for cutting the corner. We'll see if he's. Oh, wow.
Ooh.
That was a lunge right there. Nice move.
Burzy, as far as penalties, you got X-Bomb and Young DJ with 3 seconds
Okay.
apiece.
Awesome.
So that's the only 2 with penalties right now.
Awesome. Clean race so far. HS Maria
Forge now. Forge gonna come back at Kano. Oh, he tried the outside. Oh, there was no room for him on the inside. Wow. HS Maria mixed up one spot. I thought he might be able to get Kano.
Arcock had 3 seconds just now.
Porridge jumps into the pits there as he is ready to stop on his medium tires that have gone 10 laps. Kitten Petter looking to chase down Bam Bam as they both lock up, going into turn 6. He gets to turn 7. Now is kind of the time where we'll start to see some of those medium runners start to consider pitting. Hey, guys?
Let's see. Yeah.
Oh. X-Bomb looked to have
X-Bomb
run.
and Bam Bam was like a glitch there.
Yeah, it looked like X-Bomb had run a little wide or something. And so we'll see here if Bam Bam can get the job done as we have. Oh, we had something going on in Sector 2, but looks like we're okay.
Bam Bam got X-Bomb. Kitten Petter with a lunge on X-Bomb.
Oh, wow.
Nice
X-Bomb
bomb's not gonna
gave him
make
the
the
room.
corner. Yeah.
Wonder if
Here's
X-Bomb-
Andrew.
Oh, Andrew is in the pits. As X-Bomb has also entered the pit lane. So it looks like X-Bomb was really feeling those mediums. So let's see if Kitten Petter can get the move done on Bam Bam. As we're into turns 2 and 3.
You got a yellow in Sector 2. I think that's RJP.
Yeah, yes, that is correct. It is RJP. Unfortunate spin and off the track there for him. P-Dog picks up 3 seconds.
Tell you what, by Kitten and Bam Bam battling, I think it's allowed Seagrass to even still pick up time to this point, and I think Seagrass, he might be a few seconds behind, but he should be able to potentially pit and then be right behind the this little group of Bam Bam and Kitten.
Yeah, it looks like it. Sorry, go ahead.
RJP's retired on track in front of them, I think.
Yeah, it looks like it.
So we see what that does. Hopefully that doesn't bring out the safety car. I know some people will be wanting it, but hopefully
Don't think it has.
No.
So Seagrass is
Kitten
in.
Petter had a look on Bam Bam.
Now Bodhot on the hards will take the top spot. Here they come.
Alright. So see as Seagrass is coming out of the pit lane. Oh, Arkaka's in the pits for his medium stint is over. I'm just looking at the fastest lap here. So current fastest lap is Kitten Petter with a 35.129. So, and Bam Bam has his fastest lap was 35.2. We'll see. And P-Dog has passed Arkaka while he's in the pit lane. It looks like the battle we gotta be keeping on here is Kitten Petter and Bam Bam battling it out for.
I think with all this battling, Kitten Petter hasn't been able to save those tires at all.
No.
Nothing.
No, I think he's definitely hoping for a safety car. I think because Bam Bam's only gonna he's gonna just keep on rolling as those hard tires are reliable going the majority of this race. So double lock up there into turn 14. And hopping on board quick with Google Dougal, who looks to be chasing down young DJ. And Google Dougal gets the job done. It's a great move by him. As iFunner and Rumfresh swap places in that same turn 14 15 sequence. We'll hop on board. Oh, so Google Dougal and Young DJ both pit, and we're on board with Kitten again. Oh, P-Dog looking to make a move on Cream Media. Might have to hop over there. As he's got DRS on the front straight, it looks like he's able to get the job done. Going into turn 1.
Kitten Petter, he's closed the gap again before this race. See if he can get around Bam Bam again, just to maybe slow down Bam Bam a little bit.
Yeah. So Bodhod and SRS are yet to pit. Everybody else has pit at least once.
Seagrass is already on the back of Kitten though. I mean, almost getting DRS. Don't think he doesn't have it yet, but I think in another lap or so, he'll be already up to Bam Bam and Kitten.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, who's off? We've got a
Google Dougal.
Google Dougal off in sector 2 there.
Seagrass has put in the fastest lap, so he is pushing to get up to Kitten Petter and Bam Bam. And being on the hards as well, he's obviously going to the end. So if he can get around Bam Bam, it's for a race win.
Totally. Yep. Seagrass has closed that gap up already to 4/10. So he'll look to capitalize on this battle that we've been following for the last couple of laps. Young DJ is on the heels of Porridge Power as we get to the front straight. But it looks a little bit too far away to make a move. So we'll hop back on board with Segrets. As the battle for second is looking spicy. I wonder with Segrest being on the fresher hards, if that'll play into his hands as we get to the final few laps.
I think if it was maybe longer race, maybe possibly.
Yeah.
He's not on the race. Kent Petter is going to look for a move into turn one on the inside.
And he gets the job done.
But Bam Bam's going to have the outside.
There's
contact.
No, there's a little contact. Shoot.
That was close. No damage for Bam Bam, so he's all clean there.
That's good.
That's good, but that just gives Seagrass the more chance to get past Bam Bam.
The newcomer HS Maria is on the heels of Kano. I wonder if he can get the job done here this lap. Let's close that gap down. Seagrass smells a little bit of blood in the water here with Bam Bam. He's looking to capitalize. We'll see if he can get the job done.
Looks like Seagrass wants to be pretty aggressive and maybe a little bit of a look, but now Kitten Patter's going to have not only Bam Bam, but Seagrass behind him with DRS. Things could get spicy going into the hairpin.
I don't think Bam Bam is going to get DRS. He did.
That's the only thing that's probably going to keep him ahead of Seagrass for the time being. Just close enough. As Bodhod, I think, is going to come into the wait for a safety car pit with like 6 or 7 laps left.
Yeah, I think SRS is doing the same thing. SRS is on the heels of HS Maria, who's on the heels of Kano, so we'll see how SRS does as he keeps moving up through the field. Currently up 11 spots. Bodod currently up 12 spots, but he still has to pit, as does SRS. So the biggest winner of the day so far in terms of position changes is Andrew, the latecomer, up 5 spots, as well as Bomb Tree and P-Dog.
I don't think Bam Bam might not get DRS right here. Not compromise on the Seagrass. Which I don't think he will. 1.3 seconds.
I think so. No, Kitten Petter's mediums have been able to hold out for him to get out of DRS range, so hopefully he can launch down the straight here. But we do know that Bam Bam does have, we assume Bam Bam is running less aero and should be able to catch up in sectors 3 and then the following sector 1, so we'll see. But
even without DRS, Seagrass wasn't able to close up any ground.
yeah,
He did not use overtake either, so this is
Here
DRS.
comes Bodhod.
alright, and
But Kitten Petter's in as
Kitten
well.
Petter's in as well.
The fight goes from 4 to 2.
Let's see, so it looks like Andrew's going to take net P3 here. So good for Andrew to work his way up the grid into a potential podium position. There's Seagrass on the heels of Bam Bam. SRS is also into the pits for his final stint. And iFunner as well. So Kitten Petter's hopped onto a second set of mediums, looks like.
Bodhod got out just in time to get out in front of Kano and
Oh,
HS Moreira, but
crazy.
she's got a lot of time to make up. I think he could be interesting to see if he catches Andrew.
Yeah. If the top two start battling close and then close up Andrew, that'll be perfect for Badhad, but Andrew's only he's 8 seconds back.
Totally.
Because the top two, I think this battle is going to go to the end of the race.
I think so too. Bodhod being 15 seconds back, being on that softer tire, on the medium tire, you hope he can put some solid laps down and close that gap in the next 9 laps. But we'll see. Like you said, DK, like with that battle for first and second, that might close things up and allow Bodhod to strike for a podium position.
I think with the medium tires though, we've only seen him last like 10 or 12 laps.
Yeah.
So if he's gonna make up the time, he's gonna do it early before those tires start falling off.
Totally. He does have the advantage of being with having a lighter car with less fuel on his side, so they might go a couple laps more. But I agree, he's gonna have to push now while the tires are fresh and try to get squeeze all he can out of that car. As Rumfresh is in the pits.
As Badhad is pushing, he did just do the fastest sector 1 of the race. So he is pushing.
Green Medius has the fastest lap of a 34.651. Ooh, Rumfresh. Getting close, but I'm on board with Seagrass. Battle for first.
And Kitten Petter's already on the back of HS Moreira for 6th place. And could potentially get the move done into the hairpin, yeah. Inside, not a lot of fight from the Alfa Romeo, and Kitten should have it. He does.
Seagrass on Bam Bam around the outside and turn 1 on.
Oh.
And they're gonna be as he gets in the grass.
Bodhod sets the fastest lap 3:36. He's really starting to put the hammer down now. But yeah, unfortunate for Seagrass as he made the move and then lost it, just carried a little bit too much speed and went wide onto the grass.
He lost a lot of time. That's really one thing I think Seagrass needs to be more patient on. You know, he's got the fresher tires. The longer the race goes, the worse Bam Bam gets. I think he's got plenty of time to make that mistake, but I mean, I think at this point in the race, there's still plenty of time to make your move. You know, it wasn't trying to be aggressive and an audacious move, but yeah, it's just too bad for Seagrass. A little bit more patience, and I think he could get a better opportunity.
Absolutely. Well, hopefully he's able to close that gap back down. As I'm on board with Rumfresh, he's chasing down Portage Power. See if Rum can make a move here and going into Sector 2. Jumping over to Kitten Petter quick as he's on the gearbox of Kano coming into this DRS straight, and it looks like this is going to be pretty easy for him here. So
he's just going to use the DRS to pull his gap from Kano, basically.
Yeah.
Seagrass has already knocked off 6/10 on all that time he's lost. So
wow.
I think he's got fresher tires, obviously, but he might have a little bit better car as well when it comes to the downforce areas of the track.
No, I think you're quite right, because Bam Bam was able to pull away on that back DRS straight, but you need a good blend of downforce and high top end speed, and Seagrass looks like he's got the car to do it here, as he's already closing that gap.
DRS range right here.
I was just about to say, yeah, he's closing that down to within that second he needs to get DRS.
Still with six laps to go, he can still be patient. I just be within the DRS range all the way through the race, and make that move later in the race potentially, so that you don't have to worry about making mistakes.
Yeah, he's just gonna bide his time, use the DRS to close that gap. Oh, big lock up
He's
there.
he's gonna be right behind them though here.
So iFunner is chasing down young DJ. Looks to be the closest battle besides the battle for first, so we'll flip back here, but right on board for a little bit with iFunner. Oh, I gotta hop over to Seagrass because he is getting
Yeah,
close.
he's got right behind Bam Bam. Follow him through probably the rest of Sector 1 and into Sector 2.
I've noticed, guys, Bam Bam locks up a lot with his rear tires going into a lot of the corners. So I wonder if he's gonna start to feel that a little bit as he tries to get on the power, and the rear of the car just doesn't want to give him everything that he's asking of his car. Oh my. And here we go. Seagrass getting the DRS, and he's making his move down the inside going into turn 14.
Man, but Bam Bam's lower wings really does keep him up there, but it's not going to matter. Seagerstrom's a little wide. Oh, Bam Bam around the outside.
That was a great move by Bam Bam to get that position back. But Seagrass
Got a lot better exit.
Yeah.
While they're battling, I just want to give a penalty update on the top two. Clean. Only one warning between the two of them.
Okay. And what about Andrew and Bodhod and you're there as we go through? The next closest looks to be iFunner chasing down young DJ, so hop back to that battle for a little bit. And we'll be ready to flip over to the Seagrass and Bam Bam battle for first.
Bodhod just outside of DRS from Andrew as well for third.
Bodhod is close. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say those two are clean as well on penalties.
Okay. So Bodhod has closed his gap in 5 laps. He's closed it down 7 seconds. 8 seconds, my bad, my correction. 8 seconds he's closed that gap down. So if he can keep up this pace, he's got a very good chance to be within contention for a podium.
I think Bodhod might have a DRS failure as well. I don't know if he intentionally just didn't open DRS, but down the front stretch he said he had it on my screen and he didn't open it up, so.
I might be able to find that out. I do not know.
Oh, iFunner finally is able to make that move in turn 13. Or turn 14 and 15, sorry. But young DJ, iFunner swing goes a little wide, and young DJ is able to get the position back going into turn 16, coming out of that final, under that front straight. Oh, SRS chasing down P-Dog for P8. We'll see.
I think for those two to be in the points after their drive-through penalties is impressive.
I agree. I agree with you. I think they've had some stellar drives for sure. And with those guys having a strong race last week, showing they have a lot of pace, I'm not really surprised they are where they are. They're very strong drivers in AM2 this season. As Bodhod is 3/10 caught up to Andrew now. See if he can get a move done for P3.
Seegers.
He's going to look on the inside, Bodhod
Nice.
on Andrew.
Yeah. And Seagrest is on the heels of Bam Bam. And off screen, it looks like SRS was able to get the move done on P-Dog in that back DRS straight. So Bottom has 3 laps to make up 5 seconds. So we'll see if this battle for first can back them up into his sights.
Seagrass got into the back of Bam Bam there and about lost it. Yep.
Yeah, he should still get DRS. He was past the detection line, but yeah. Now that's his second mistake now, running right behind the back of Bam Bam, and
I mean, I think he caught up to him in about what, 2 or 3 laps. I think if he just keeps his head down, he'll be right back up there.
I mean, he's got to time it right. I think the way that he's been doing it is he's got to have the run into turn 1. I think Bam Bam's too strong in the backstretch.
I'm on board
But
with...
Bodhod,
Sorry.
I go for it.
Okay, I'm on board
Bodhod's
with
gotta love it.
I'm on board with Forge Power here. He's chasing down his teammate, so we'll see if he can get the job done. See if they have a little bit of team orders, or if Arkaka can maintain the gap going out of his best fit.
Seagrass already back within DRS range of Bam Bam. I think if those two keep battling like this for the final 3 laps, I think that could potentially close Bodhod up.
Yeah, Bodhod already down 1.5 seconds.
It's just going to be an exciting finish, I say, regardless if it's just Bam Bam or Seagrass, but yeah, Bodhod has really reeled these guys in pretty quickly.
Yeah. Well, that was Bodhod with the prime reverse strat here, working out in his favor.
Bodhod laying down fastest sectors as well.
Yeah, he still is the fastest lap holder at 33.6.
Here we go, Seagrass eye on the inside, doesn't break late enough.
I think Seagrass has to get that move done into turn 1. He's got to get a good run out of the last corner and just try to get the run into turn 1.
Bam Bam's going to run him wide as they enter turn 1.
Ooh.
Seagrass is going to try that outside move. And still can't really do much with it.
Gonna pop over to P-Dog. It looks like P-Dog lost it in turn 13 and he got overtaken by X-Bomb. I'm not sure what happened there.
Oh, and he's got a puncture. To the left front puncture as well. He's been on those hards 23 laps.
Oh no.
That's an unfortunate end to his race. Jump back over to the leaders here. That's unfortunate. P-Dog had such a great race. And for puncture like that, that's too bad, but...
After stopping in lap 1, I think, yeah.
Yeah.
Almost got those hards to go the entire race.
That's impressive. So I think Bodhod might be running out of time here. He's got to make up 3 seconds in 1 lap here, so we'll see.
Seagrass down the inside. Oh, not enough.
Oh,
and he's going to lose the back end. I think that might do it. He's going to need a heck of a last lap to catch Bam Bam now.
Yeah. That slip up might allow Bodhod to catch up for P2 as well if Bottas can maintain momentum, but I'm not sure if he's starting to slow down his momentum as the mediums have started to wear out just a little bit more.
Gotta say, Bam Bam though hasn't made any mistakes up front. I mean, he's run his line. You know, Seagrass has tried a few times, but really Bam Bam has defended well. Hasn't. Biggest thing is he hasn't made any mistakes. So, that's been really, you know, he knew he had to defend with the medium hard strat, and so far he's done pretty well. Although Seagrass starting to reel him back in, but he's only got a couple more corners.
He's got two chances to get it done.
Alrighty, here we go.
Bam Bam looked like he had a bit of a moment coming out of the snail, but just that straight line speed just carries him.
Yep, Seagrass is not close enough.
No. Oh, he does get a good run out though.
Oh, he's gonna be right on his gearbox, but he's gonna run out of time.
Wow.
Wow.
What a finish.
That was a
Bottom.
Bam
finish
Bam,
for you as
man,
well.
terrific drive for him. Yeah, Seagrass did everything he could.
I think that's two pretty good races in a row, I think, guys.
Yeah, I agree.
I
SRS and
I think it's gonna be a
HS
good
Maria
season.
are wheel to wheel coming around the final corner here. But SRS, great drive for him. Also on that reverse strategy, starting at the back. Up 11 spots. I mean, that's an impressive drive. But Bam Bam. Our podium finishers, though, wow, that was an exciting finish to that race for sure.
Runfresh did get X-bombed on points, or on penalties there.
The two McLarens come across just a spot shy. iPhone are retired. Oh, he lost it at the final corner.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Oh, bummer.
That was our only real true retirement on track 2 from an incident.
And the game gives SRS driver of the day, but I want to ask our viewers who are with us, who do you think was the driver of the day? Who are you voting for? We can let our drivers know in the post-race interviews.
I gotta say, Bam Bam drove a great race today. No mistakes, just good defending all around.
Yeah.
I gotta give it to him. But Seagrass did give him a good run for his money.
Totally.
I like Bottas personally, as he comes with the fastest lap as well. But I mean, starting in the back, trying the medium, qualifying didn't work well, but then making his way up and making up as much time as he did near the end to make it semi-interesting, I think, for him to, you know, if Bam Bam and Seagrass would have had a moment together, Bottas potentially could have come away with the win. So that was a good run for him.
Totally.
Definitely up 13 spots from where he qualified too. It is a good run.
Yeah, I think Bottas could be argued for driver of the day. I mean, he did set the fastest lap, and he was making a push there near the end. So either him or, I mean, you can't argue with the precision of Bam Bam leading this race start to finish. And while we get our drivers invited to the post-race interviews, I just want to remind our viewers that our contest of speed schedule, it starts on Mondays with EU3 at 10 p.m. British Standard Time, followed on Tuesdays first with our EU2 drivers at 4 p.m. British Standard Time, and then our very own AM2 at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. And then Wednesdays we have EU1 at 10 p.m., followed by American Tier 1 9 p.m. Eastern Time. And then our brand new European Tier 4 is Thursdays at 10 p.m. British Standard Time. And you can find us on Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter, as well as Twitch. All right. Have you guys been able to send the invites out?
You are the host, Brendan.
Oh. I can do that. Alright, let's go. Alright, I'll do it quick. Invite. Okay. I'll get Seagrass here quickly. Yeah, guys, overall, I think that was a very exciting race. That was a lot of fun to watch.
Most definitely. I think it's one of the closer battles I've seen in contested speed, in my opinion.
As we've got all of our drivers in.
Alright, do you want me to do the podium interviews?
Sure, you can.
Okay. Alright, I'll say also, guys, make sure your party settings set to share your audio. Then we can get going.
Double check party settings.
Alright, gonna go ahead and start with Bodhad. Solid P3 today, Bodhad. Qualifying didn't go your way. Had to start in the back, but then the alternate hard to medium tires, you were pretty much had wings to fly up the field on those mediums towards the end, and almost, I think another lap or two would have made things very interesting for the lead.
Yeah, got close, but not close enough. Front two looked like they had a bit of a tasty battle. I was hoping you'd make it a bit more interesting and let me catch up a bit more, but that didn't happen, so that's okay. But yeah, considering where I started, I had a pretty bad qualifying. I did a poor lap on the mediums and then went out again the same mediums and spun it. So I'd start, I think it was 13th or 14th. And yeah, I started on the hards. I felt like I had a really good pace actually. Like I was quicker than the medium runners from the outset, like around me, and catching the soft runners fairly quickly. So that gave me hope of kind of a top 5 finish possibly. And I'm really happy to get to within 2.5 seconds of the lead, considering the gap was like 15 or 16, that kind of area in the first stint. So I'm pretty happy to have closed up all that time, but yeah, I kind of got cut in qualifying, so that's what hurt me ultimately. But I'll definitely take a podium, also considering that China's never been a particularly strong track for me. So I'm happy with P3, and congrats to the front two. Looks like you had a good as race. I'll probably watch that one back again. Looked like a good battle.
Yeah, I was gonna say, but how did those tarts feel? Obviously, you got off to a great run, but I'm assuming the first few laps had to be pretty careful on them.
Yeah, a little bit, but that midfielder was really like taking it easy as well. Like I kind of got sandwiched between a few people, and lucky I didn't get a bit of wing damage the first few laps. Just people collapsing in the slow corners, just trying to take it really easy. So that kind of let me get into the race well enough. I was thinking about going a few extra laps and putting softs on at the end as well on those hards, but I was starting to slide a fair bit, so I thought I wouldn't risk it. But they heated up a bit, like better than I thought they would, which is good. It allowed me to get a few positions early, even though I lost a lot of time to those front guys who had the clear air. So yeah, the hards actually were a better race tire than I thought they would be, which is good.
All right, well, you did a great job making your way up through and finishing P3, so congratulations on another podium.
Cheers, thanks.
All right, now we'll move on to Seagrass, who came also close, had the medium to hard strategy, and looked like he was going to have to make it work at a lot of speed. Unfortunately, Bam Bam proved a little bit too difficult and had to settle for P2.
Yeah, I made a couple mistakes when I got right up behind him a couple times there and dropped back, so I couldn't quite get it done. And plus, some illegal parts, the racing points running, helped him out a little bit.
Allegedly.
You did a pretty good job, I think, especially the first stint on the mediums, where you first of all qualified in the top 5 with a lot of soft runners, and then picked them off one by one early on. So that puts you in an awesome spot towards the last half of the race.
Yeah, I was surprised I got that high on the mediums. I was hoping for about fifth or sixth, but yeah, fourth was a good spot to start on them. It was a good fun race trying to catch him, but just couldn't get her done.
All right. Well, congratulations on P2. It's a lot of fun to watch, and hopefully you can get yourself on the top step of the podium next Tuesday night.
Yep, right on.
All right, we'll move on to our winner, Bam Bam. Qualified first and took home the victory. And the thing that impressed me, Bam Bam, was you had Seagrass pretty much breathing down your neck the whole probably last 10 laps, and didn't make any major mistakes that gave up the lead. So that was the impressive takeaway I had of your drive today.
Yeah, thank you. But I want to tip my hat off to Board Hog. Considering he started like way back in the pack and he was able to put it back on the podium at the end of the race. And the only reason I think I won was because Seagrass made a bit one too much errors, and he wasn't able to capitalize on the brand new hards. And besides that, yeah, I want to shout out to my teammate Connor, who's helping me out with the setups this weekend. And considering we got that 1-2, I guess the setups work. And also for helping me out in holding up the pack, because we discussed before the race started, whoever got ahead in turn 1, the second driver would have had to like hold the pack up a bit to create space for the lead driver, and the strategy worked pretty good.
Yeah, you got a great launch off the line, and also the biggest takeaway you talked about setup too, and your setup tended, especially a lot of times if drivers got any DRS in the back straight, it was kind of battle over, but you tended to have a lot of straight line speed and was able to defend quite well into the hairpin.
Well, yeah, it depends on how good an exit you get coming off the last corner, and also it's like an ERS trick I use to try to negate the overtake and the DRS from the guy behind me that keeps me in the lead. But other than that, yeah, I had a good race tonight.
Yeah, the best race out of everybody. So P1, congratulations, Bam Bam. Fantastic race, fantastic show, and look forward to do it all Tuesday night.
Thank you.
All right, Burzy, you want to wrap this baby up?
Totally. Yeah, thank you so much for tuning in to Contest of Speed. You can find us Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays for our European tiers, as well as Thursdays, European tiers at 10 p.m. British Standard Time, and our American tiers are Tuesdays and Wednesdays at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So, yeah, awesome. Thanks, guys, so much for tuning in and for a great time commentating with both of you, and look forward to watching you tear it up tomorrow.
You got it, Burzy. Congrats to the podium as well. Good race, especially between Bam Bam and Seagrass. That was probably one of the most entertaining races I've watched in a little bit.
Alrighty, and with that, Perry, do you have any closing comments? Alright, we will see you later. Have a good night.